the role of Hungary is very interesting in the Western Balkans specifically. Why is that?
Well, Hungary is, sometimes they call it Trojan horse, Over the course of the years, the position of Viktor Orban has evolved. Like I studied in Hungary 5 years ago at the Central European University. At that time, Viktor Orban was still I think was the second term of the prime minister.
I also studied in Ilyet right?
Okay, yes. But when I studied there at CEU, he had a very different relationship. He was sort of the pro-Western, pro-democratic leader who was pushing the country for democratization. Over the course of the years, he has embraced this alternative to the EU and has joined this wave of nationalism. Conservatism, nationalism, and has put him a lot closer to Russia, because he's facing a lot of pressure from inside the EU. So he is actually trying to leverage that pressure, I think, and hence expand his influence. So it's no secret that, of course, when they see that a conflict of this occurs, they're going to play the line of, we want a partnership. Now, what I think has happened is, so they're, of course, trying to fill that void and that vacuum because Bulgaria is putting pressure to change the narrative. He says, okay, I'm going to be the good guy and, love me and I'll love you back. And they said, okay, sure. And so that's why they're using financial tools. But I think there's something else. He looks up at his position and he says, okay, I can negotiate my best position here by aligning with the Serbs and by aligning with the Macedonians. And part of this is also by aligning with the Chinese and the Serbs, and the Russians. Why? Because again, the Chinese, the Russians, the Hungarians, and Serbs might have different interests, diverging interests. Yet they have one thing in common, which is the sort of the Western liberal order that is created, of which a manifestation is the EU. And their purpose is to offer an alternative. I think what has happened here, again, I don't have a lot of hard evidence, but there's been a high level of negotiation coordination where China looks and says, hey, I want to build this high-speed rail from Salonika to all the way to Budapest. Orban says it's a great opportunity for me, because high-speed rail means I can move quickly your commodities into the heart of Europe. And so that's why he's building this, what is called now strategic alliance with Serbia, strategic partnership with Macedonia, throwing a lot of money at North Macedonia, throwing a lot of money at their government, And I think some of it is some negotiations going on behind the scenes with Greece as well. So I think there is of course an economic interest behind it, and it's more subservient to the Chinese interests, But if that helps consolidate anti-EU sentiments, whether it be those in Macedonia, North Macedonia, or be those in Serbia, it's also welcome. So again, I think this is actually an alliance of diverging interests, converging interests, but they're different interests. And as much as that is an alliance, that alliance is also somewhat fragile and can fall apart very quickly if the right circumstances are available on the ground. And here I should actually say that Bulgaria clearly sees that as antithetic to its own interests, such an alliance to emerge, even though we know that in Bulgaria, actually, Russian influence is very strong, and that's a major factor that works against Bulgaria being able to articulate and further its own interests. But Bulgaria has a lot of leverage, including leverage over Hungary. Bulgaria was dependent on Hungary to get okay for Schengen. Now all the Schengen decisions are already done. What Bulgaria can do is step up the pressure on Hungary to say, hey, you're buying a lot of Russian gas that goes through Bulgaria because all the pipelines through Ukraine are shut down, the Druzhba pipeline, and the Northern Stream is also shut down. So your only supply of Russian gas is through Bulgaria. So we have tools, I'm not sure why those tools are not used, but again, I'm not a policymaker. I'm just asking questions.